on a very we have we are having a powerful topic for tonight, which actually spearheads the resilience building among leaders. So, and I can tell you, our speaker for tonight is a great person. He's a great person. He has imparted us a lot, and I'm sure it's not only to our own circle. He has circles around that can testify to that. So, and more of our speakers who are going to follow up with this training, I can tell you they are gems in leadership, and I know they care more about seeing young leaders like us assume the positions in the right way, in the right manner. So I don't want us to miss any parts, any bit of it. So if you have your friends who have registered and have not joined this call yet, please can you just beep them now and give them a pinch to join us now before our speaker comes on board. So tonight, our focus will be on a peculiar topic which borders the theme for this training. I can tell you, leaders in Africa are actually making waves now in the global world, in the global community, and I can tell you, if I mention Africa, I can tell you Nigeria, the giant of Africa, is a scope for Africa. So that means Nigerians, young leaders in Nigeria are actually a key focus, and I can tell you, we'll be making much of a saddle, making much of a grind in the global community when we talk about young leaders or leaders in the near 10, 20 years to come. And I'm telling you, how leaders are made is very essential, very essential, very essential. Like Peter Obi once said that um, you are called excellency just by the process you take to get to the position. You are not only called excellency by the position. Your excellence is just it's not just a title. It's the process that takes you there. So being a leader, a great leader, whatever position you assume in the future, is dependent on the building now, on what you have done, the process you've gone through, and it's not just the post you assume will later in the future, later in life. So we'll be talking about our speaker will be talking about nurturing resilience to overcome um, leadership challenges. Nurturing resilience to overcome leadership challenges. So that means there's a quality of resilience too, because there will be challenges as a leader. So you need to know how to nurture that resilience. And tonight we'll be having our distinguished person from Precious Fountain Foundation, whose name goes by um, Christian Sopuruchi. We popularly regard him as Uncle Sop. He's our big, he's our big person in PFF. So Uncle Sop is loaded, and I can tell you with what he's going to impart us tonight, you will get to testify to that. So how do we nurture um, your resilience to overcome leadership challenges? Uncle Sop will be taking us through that. But before I call Uncle Sop on board, um, is there anybody that has anything maybe to say, any comments, any queries so far, or any concern before we have our speaker come on board? If you have any question, any query as to whatever we heard this training, or what you would suggest this training goes with in pattern from day one, so that we can have everything tailored to you, how you can learn. Can you please come up now and suggest anything to us before we have our speaker come on board? Anybody here? All right. Can we hear me, or am I too fast?
No, sir, you're not so fast. Can hear you.
All right. Thank you, Victory. Yeah. So, like I said, um, I will introduce to us now our speaker for the first day of the training, and I bring to us the person of our president at PFF, Precious Fountain Foundation. So I'll just give a short profile about um, our president. Uncle Sopuruchi Christian has over 5 years of international experience as a lawyer, and he is a legal researcher. He's a teacher and an advocate for vulnerable children. Uh, Please kindly allow me to show his face as I do the introduction. I think we can get to know that from the fly, but let me just give us an inkling to the name. Yeah, can we still hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you.
All
Yes,
right,
sir. Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
We can.
So I just want to put us in the know by showing us the face of Uncle Sob. That will just give us a glimpse of him from the flyer, and then we can get to know who our first speaker is. If you see him anywhere, so I think you'll be able to know who Uncle Sob is. So please stay with me as I share that with us. Okay. All right. Can we see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, um, like I said, Uncle Sop is our president at PFF, and and I can tell you, he's a great person. He has impacted us a lot in PFF over the few um, is you. I introduced to you Uncle Sop tonight. Uh, Uncle Sop, like I said, has over 5 years plus um, experience as a lawyer, and is a legal researcher. He's a teacher and an advocate for vulnerable children. And he has worked in some countries like Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and the UK, India, and Canada. Like I said, he's a great person, and don't want to miss any value and virtue that will be sharing with us tonight on how to nurture your resilience to overcome leadership challenges. I can tell you, someone who has surmounted this kind of leadership tracks, we definitely have a lot from experience to coach us with, to train us with as young leaders. So I want you to pay out attention. If you see have people that are hanging out, please you can invite them, drag them in now before I invite Uncle Sop. So Uncle Sop, I bring you on board now, sir. You're welcome on board, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. That was really a long one. um, I am trying to share my screen, and what I will do now is that I will invite everyone to test the chat feature on the call to see if it's working. So just if you're on this call right now and you can hear me, just type I can hear you in the chat so that I can start from there. That way I know everyone who is on this call and who will be listening to us. There is something else I want to add to what Peter has said, and that is that everybody who participates in this class, in this lecture series, will be given data rebates. So any amount you spend on data will return it to you. The reason why we are doing this project is because we want to um, create leadership, raise leaders within Imo State University. I finished from Imo State University myself, so it's really, really important for me what is going on now. And part of the reason that we specifically decided that we'll do this lecture series for Imo State University and not any other school is that Imo State is my alma mater. And over time, I wonder what I can do to make life better for people who are back in the place where I came from, which is IMSU. And this is my attempt at doing that. So we are hoping that we will be able to break at least 15 participants in today's meeting. We had over 40 people who registered, so we thought give or take, we can get half of that. But even if we don't get half of that, I'm sure we can get up to 20%, especially considering that we are going to make sure that you return all your data balance that you spend. So what I will ask of you, especially those who are current IMSU students that are on this call has people who are IMSU students and people who are PFF workers in it. So with due respect to my PFF people, I will defer very well to my IMSU students. If you know any IMSU students that should be on this call right now, that is your friend, and you know has a chance of winning this $100,000, 100,000 naira BB prize, I think you should call them to join up. I will give a few minutes for that, like 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll keep talking. I will not enter into my talk proper. But let them join us. I will be done in less than an hour, and it's really important for them to hear what I'm about to say. I'm also recording this conversation, and that means that we can put it on YouTube for you to play back. And so it's really important for us that we help people understand that they are leaders. And the only way to know that you're a leader is if you are able to surmount challenges in your own personal life. And so tell your friends, whether they are in Bishop's Court, in Works Layout, in Front Gate, in Back Gate, tell them that they should join this call right now. Try and make a call, try and send a message. If you registered with your friend in this conversation, make sure that they come online. Oh, Christabel is saying that some people don't have the Zoom app. Oh, okay, that's a very big challenge. Is there any app that you guys are familiar with? Is there any app that you guys prefer? We decided to use Zoom because Zoom is very easy to download. If you click on the link, it takes you to a portion to download it. And yeah, Google Meet is a good option, but we didn't think of Google Meet. And that is because Google Meet sometimes does not allow us to record. But we'll think of Google Meet maybe next time. Maybe Peter put that in mind. But for now, I think that for those who can, the app Zoom should be easy to download, I presume. Well, we didn't think that there will be a reason for using Google Meet. Anyway, if your friends can come online and use this Zoom feature, we will appreciate it. If you know that there is somebody that is in need, that would need 100,000 naira scholarship, let them jump on this call. If you want to have a tag team, you and your roommate will present, and so you guys will have a chance to win and share the money. You should call your roommate to join now. Okay, so I'm expecting that my screen is obvious. So this is our flyer. Professor Chineke is a professor in IMSU. He's been my mentor before I even got admission and after that. I've stayed with him for many years. He's been somebody that has impacted in my life so many times. Anytime I call on him till today, even the job I currently do, he is the person that helped me with my references. He's a father to me. He's cared for me for a really long time. So I believe that we'll be learning a lot from him tomorrow. Again, Professor B.B. Nwoke is a former Vice Chancellor of Imo State University. The prize we are giving today in this essay competition is named after him as his graduating. Professor B.B. Nwoke has shown the love of Christ, has been somebody that's an example to many of us who were students in IMSU. And Deborah is a very big on the female leadership space. If you're a woman and you want to hear a story of how you can become better yourself, I think you should listen to Deborah when she speaks. And then there is me. Well, what can I say about myself? I would say that I also have something to say. God has helped me, and I'm leading the Precious Fountain Foundation today. And I think that I mirror the story of many ordinary people in IMSU. And that is why I want you to make sure that you contact your friends, speak to people, let them join this conversation. Because you don't know whose future is tied to your own. As a leader, part of being a leader will be being able to convince people to do things. But beyond convincing other people, your life should also mirror that sort of understanding of what your future should be like. That is to say, if you want to be taken seriously, you will take yourself seriously. And so I want to urge us again to tell our roommates, tell people in the hostel that should join, that they should immediately join, because this is the main point of this conversation. It's really important for them to join, because once I start going, I'm going to run all the way. And apart from when I'll give you work to do, it's going to be hard to stop. So if you have told your roommates, if you've told your friends, I will invite you to get a pen and a paper close to you, because we are going to be doing some writing. We are going to be doing some thinking. If you are in a place where you can get a pen, please do so. If you are in a place where you can get a paper, please do so. If you also want to drop a text to your friends, if you want to call them and say, if you want to even speak to them, say, let us join in this, then let us know. If you are in a place and there is more than one of you, let's say you are in a room and you and your roommate are using the same device to listen, also let us know that there is more than one person listening, so that we can carry the other person along. And so we will also count that other person as a participant in what is going on. And if you are more than one person listening to this conversation, can you type in the chat so that we can know? You can introduce the other person as well. But if there is somebody that you cannot download Zoom and says, oh, Zoom is giving me problem, but I can listen with you as you put this phone on loudspeaker, please introduce the person as well. And yeah, Christabel says there are two of them using the phone. Can you tell us the name of the other person? If you can. If you have friends that you need to speak to, please speak to them, tell them to join this conversation right now. If you are the people using the phones, just make sure you introduce them, drop their names in the chat so that I can carry them along in my conversation. We are hoping that your life will change after you listen to this. Not that your life will radically change, but I'm thinking of you making incremental efforts to be a better person, because you don't really change into a new person the next day. Little by little, the changes you make in your life come together and become something. And in the light of that, I want to introduce you to somebody in this story. And the name of that person is Ujunwa. And what about Ujunwa, you will say? Ujunwa is a person who was born to parents who are not very well to do. Ujunwa's parents don't have money, as we would say. Ujunwa was born in Aba, and she does not have the funds to take care of herself. Her dad tries the best to take care of her, but in her second year in the university, her dad died. And so she fell on down times. And so she started looking for help to pay her school fees and many things. And when she went to a priest in Bishop's Court to say, can you help me? I need help. So for those of you who don't know, Bishop's Court is an area in IMSU. It's not literally a Bishop's Court like you would think of. It's an area. It's not a a reference to a particular denomination. And so the pastor or priest told her to use what she had to get what she wants. And that is usually a reference to people who tell women to sell their bodies for, say, for financial or material benefits. So if you sleep with somebody, the person can pay your bills. And there are many people around Ujunwa doing the same thing. She's a young girl, she's pretty, she's beautiful. She can do that too if she wanted, but she did not want to do that because she believes in her self-worth. And so she decided against it and instead took a teaching job in a primary school in Works Layout. Works Layout is a place very close to IMSU. It's an area as well, in case you are not familiar with IMSU setup. I hope these names are the names that they call these places now, because it's been a while I was around there. So she graduated through all of that stress and decided to be the best in everything she ever did. And that is an important point I'm going to be making today, which is that if you are going to be anything, be the best. Tell yourself, in whatever I do, I am going to be the best. And that is the decision that Ujunwa made for her life. And how did she graduate? I will tell you the fuller story because I know the backstory more than you do. And so Ujunwa decided to take up a teaching job. Beyond the teaching job, she did many other things. There was a long strike when she was a student, and she decided to use that period of strike to write an exam. When she wrote that to write an exam for accountancy, this accountancy exam, she also published a book. She now invited people to her book publishing, and they did a fundraising kind of launching of the book. That money from the launching really helped her in taking care of her educational needs. She graduated from university, started applying for different scholarships, explaining that she's had a lot of, she's done a lot in her life. She's put in a lot of effort to be where she is today. And of course, one of those scholarships clicked. And this woman, Ujunwa today, who many people would not have given a lot of effort or looked at well when she was in the second year, is doing a full scholarship in Canada today. She's still going ahead in life, trying her very best to be the best in whatever she has to be. Now, the question is Ujunwa a leader? Now, if you want to know whether she's a leader, you have to ask yourself, what did she lead? What did Ujunwa lead? Did she lead other people? Did she lead teams? What exactly made this example worth using today? This example is worth using because Ujunwa's story shows leadership in herself, being able to coordinate herself. And so I'll be talking about leadership from the point of view of personal leadership, being able to carry yourself well. Being able to carry yourself well, being able to do what you tell yourself you are going to do. And this is really, really important as we go ahead. I have not met anybody that is successful in life that does not take themselves seriously, or at least successful in what they do. What I mean by that is, if somebody says they will be here at 6 o'clock, they will be here at 6 o'clock if they take themselves seriously. They make every effort to show up at the time. One of the things I look out for when I'm teaching students, when I'm mentoring people, to know if somebody is going to be useful in life in the future, is if that person does what they say they will do. So take, for example, you registered for this course that we are taking now this weekend. You are not the only person that registered. 40 other people registered. The rest of them are not here, but you are here. You made the effort. You took the sacrifice, whatever it was going to take you to be here. And here you are today listening to this. It doesn't mean that you could not have said, oh, I'm very busy, I'm doing something else. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't have, oh, there is no light, there is no this, there is no that. But you knowing fully well what you decided to do by yourself because you made that commitment, you decided to be here. And that is what leadership entails. There may be somebody here who is, or somebody in IMSU right now, who is more qualified than you and should be the person that will win the 100,000. Maybe there is somebody there that is, if the person was on this call, they would have been so brilliant, we'll just give them the money. But they are not here today, but you are. And in so doing, life weeds out people who are not serious. So even if you are very talented, you are very smart, you know everything, but you don't take yourself seriously, you shortchange yourself from positions, from opportunities that you get in life. And that will be because your own personal, you don't take yourself seriously enough to do what you are supposed to do, except somebody else forces you to do them. So let's say your lecturer says, be in class at 8 o'clock, or I will lock the door. You will only come because you don't want to be locked out of the class. But a person who takes themselves seriously will know that they have to be in class by 8 o'clock, regardless of whether the lecturer is somebody that locks people out or not. And that is the point I'm trying to make here. You make the sacrifice necessary to keep yourself where you are supposed to be, to do what you said you will do, because you owe yourself personal development. You don't owe it to me, you owe it to yourself. And that is a feature that I'm taking out from this story. And we are going to elaborate on this as we go on. So, who is a leader? I would define a leader as someone who takes charge of their private lives and in so doing is able to influence others. And what does this mean? A leader is somebody who decides that, well, my life will be better, my life will be good, and keeps their life very well, and in so doing is able to become an example to other people. You want to make big changes in the world, stand up and sweep your room first. You cannot clean your room, but you want to change the world. Is that even possible? So that is the point I'm trying to make here. A leader must first lead himself or herself. If you want to be somebody that is being taken seriously in life, you must first take yourself seriously. You must first do what you said you will do. You must first show up for things you say you will show up for. You must first take serious things that concern you. If your books are there, you will read them. If your room is dirty, you will clean it. If anything needs to happen in let your house first be clean. We did a project somewhere. We went to a village, somewhere in Osun State, a kind of on a little out of the town area, and I observed that we entered many rooms to meet with people, and in many of the rooms, the whole place was dirty. The people lived in very dilapidated structure. They lived in zinc, thatch houses, and things like that. But then, as I was going through each of these houses, I was asking myself, even if these people are poor, there is no reason for the houses to be dirty, even if they are poor. And just as to prove my point, we went into a house, also a mud house, but absolutely clean. Everywhere had been cleaned out. The way to the house had been swept. Everything had been folded. It was not great. It was not a mansion, but it was also not dirty. And that is what I tell myself too. Even if my clothes is torn, I will at least wash it, because washing it is my own personal responsibility. Putting it inside water and washing it, nobody can do that for me. And so your life as a leader, the way you conduct yourself is what will influence others. That is the leadership there. You being able to make changes in your own private life, pick yourself up, do the things you're supposed to do, be the one that is in front, is a testament to your ability to be a leader. And those are the kind of people I like working with, because I don't need to shout on them too much. They already take themselves serious. And so they can tell me if they are not able to do something. And when I put a task in their hands, I can go and rest and know that these people are able to do what they said they are going to do. And so I'm telling you, the participant in this call, that to be a leader, you must first lead yourself. To influence others, you must first influence yourself. To be a person that will be able to make a difference in the life of others, make a difference in your own life first. Why? Because if you are somebody that has a lot of flaws, your life is so dilapidated, it will show in the leadership of others, even if people like you and they come around you. There may be a day that that behavior that you don't take care of will bring you down. And so we don't want that. We want to make sure that we always make the right decisions, we're always in front, and we're taking good care of ourselves first. So what are the serious challenges that a leader faces today? You that is a student, very likely an undergraduate. I don't think we have any master's students or PhD students here. What are the things that become very big challenges to planning yourself well and taking your place as a leader, becoming outstanding? Like as you can see this picture in this slide, there are many people standing on the road. Only one person is illuminated. And that is how life is. There will always be a large crowd of people, but only one person will be the one that will say, I want to be the leader here. I want to make the difference here. And that's why I always believe that to make a difference, I don't need so many people. I just need the motivated group that know what they're supposed to do. I don't need all of IMSU to make a difference in IMSU. If there are 4 IMSU students that say, oh, I'm going to take my life seriously, those are the reason for this call, and they are the reason why I believe that this call is going to make a difference. And so, what are the 6 serious personal leadership challenges you will face? In this modern era, the first one is social media. It is very distracting. The second thing is inability to plan. The third is poverty. The fourth is lack of boundaries. And the fourth and the fifth are like the same. The fifth and the sixth, rather, a lack of social amenities and a government that does not benefit you as a person. If you know any other personal leadership challenges that people face today as they try to change their life, you can drop it in the chat. Let me hear you. If you know of other personal leadership challenges that people have, or you think people are facing in the world today, please, young people especially, drop it in the chat. Let me see. But these are the ones I've noted from my own life and from studying other people. And so, how do I overcome the challenge that social media poses today? The first thing I have to do is to tell myself that I don't need to know all the trends. And I pity people in school today. I don't know how I would have fared if I was a person in school today. You have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have YouTube. You are always entertained. Like entertainment is always popping at you. And our brains like to enjoy. Our brains like to enjoy because imagine staying on TikTok and reading books. It's not the same, especially when you are studying. Your brain wants that enjoyment. It wants to be happy all the time. And so putting yourself in a way that you're able to make a difference is not really easy. And so sometimes I find myself scrolling almost moronically on social media, just keep going. But then I usually would stop by asking myself, the people who put these things on social media, if they were all scrolling through, nobody will have any social media to look at today. So it's an easy decision. If your life is easy, if your life is easy, then your life will be hard. Or if all the choices you make are easy, then your life will be hard. But if you make hard choices, then your life will be easy. And what I'm trying to say here is this. You will have to tell yourself the truth. I don't have to know everything. I don't need to know what is happening in Mozambique. I don't need to know what is happening in some faraway place. I just need to know what is happening for this period of time that I've looked at the screen and I have to log off. You know, staying away from the screen is a really, really big challenge that young people have today. And it manifests itself in so many ways. In fact, I know one young person that cannot eat if they don't have a screen in front of them. And I've had a child that was hospitalized because once a screen is in front of him, he just keeps eating. He can't stop. He just keeps eating. And he keeps eating until he literally had to be rushed to the hospital. And I know this for sure because I know the guy personally. He associates screen time with eating. Maybe that's how he was trained and all that. A young boy, more like 12 or 13. And these are the things that social media have brought today. But I don't think your problem is that bad. I think your problem is that, or our problem on this call, including myself, would be that we don't know how to say no to what social media brings, the endless entertainment, the surfeit of entertainment that it continually feeds us. And the amount of time we spend on social media can almost always become something productive we do with ourselves. And so I tell you to tell yourself, I don't need to know everything. When it's time for bed, switch off the phone, put it somewhere else. Don't keep it close to you and it's still blinking so that you wake up to use the toilet at 2 o'clock and you want to respond to a message. No, don't do that. Switch the phone off. Take it away from you. Keep it far away. If possible, work with friends and give them your phone so that you can have some time to think. Unplug yourself. Think, like cleanse your thought pattern. Let it be. Give yourself an opportunity to use that head and think. Be alone. Think. Plan your way out of the situation you find yourself in. I don't know if you have any tips for breaking free from social media addiction and use and too much use of social media. I would like you to drop it in the chat. I see that Declan has dropped in the chat that a serious challenge that people face is inability to carry others along, okay? But if you know how you think that social media can be taken care of by people who are thinking hard about becoming leaders tomorrow, please drop it in the chat. Please drop it in the chat. I want to know how we can be part of what is going on here. How, for example, social media can be taken care of. While you are dropping it in the chat, I'm going to move on to another topic, which is inability to plan. And I think that even this is way more important than everything I've stated. Yeah, SADK says we should allocate time for social media, and that is really important. Allocating time for social media is fundamentally, for example, you want to stay on the trend and still be able to do your work. I have 2 hours to use my phone, and that's it. Setting priorities again from Declan, which is really great. And knowing exactly setting priorities means you're able to know what is important at this time. Tell yourself the rewards. You can reward yourself with some screen time, but don't make it the point. Don't make it the point. The important thing is that do not let entertainment, endless entertainment, take away what you are supposed to be doing right now. And that is planning for a future. Because as a young person, this is the time to exert yourself. Like this is the time you go the extra mile. This is the time you apply yourself to many things, you know? And I want to talk about this inability to plan. And we're going to do a simple assignment after that. Pastor Jalat usually will tell us that proper planning prevents poor performance. That's the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. In order to get anything done, you need to plan a lot. Only this event that we have here right now, in order to make sure it happens, we have a project manager, Peter, we have Shalom Anya, working on this. We have to invite speakers, we have to do flyers, we have to meet people in IMSU. There are so many things that go beyond setting up a call like this. Even raising the funds that we need to give out at the end of the day, there is some planning that goes behind it. For you to be able to sit down here today, there is a planning that goes behind it as well. Proper planning, therefore, becomes a way to ensure that you prevent poor performance. But for some of us, we haven't even been able to think or plan before, and we haven't even been able to plan our days. A secret that has helped me to achieve a lot, you know, some people ask, how am I able to be on top of so many things? And I say, I always write out what I want to do. Every day I write out what I want to do. every day. There are things I would do. I need to do them before I sleep. I can't do it if I don't sleep. And little accomplishment of tasks like that become something. I can write down something as simple as I want to wash my socks. And I write it because I can do a lot of things that day and forget how to wash my socks that day. And that is something I want you to think of. I can put in my call, I want to make calls today. I want to call 3 or 4 people. I want to do this, I want to do that. The power of writing down is fundamental, is mind-blowing. You can write down with WhatsApp. You can write down by having a small note around you. You can write down, for example, what I want to achieve this week. I do weekly plans, I do monthly plans, but once I do weekly plans, I start doing things every day. Because for me, I believe that anything I'm able to do right now is already done. I won't need to do it again. For example, this call I'm having now, even if we have a second call, it will no longer be like this. I've already done this. So if I'm doing something else, it's going to be different. If you fail to plan, you just literally have planned to fail. And that is a play on words, but that is also true. If you want anything, you must plan for it, especially if you are somebody from a not so well-to-do family. If you are somebody that you are trying to work your way out of poverty, you must plan. There is no two ways around it. And so I will give us an assignment now, which is write out 5 things you do tomorrow. I'll give you time. I'm going to write out for myself too. If you write out, I'll call you up to share with me what you've written. Write out 5 things you will do before this year finishes. That is before 2024 finishes. 5 things, not too many, just 5 things. Write out 5 things you will do with your degree after you graduate. So whatever you're studying, English, microbiology, whatever it is that you are studying, write 5 things you will do with it after you graduate. And then write out for me what you think you will look like after 5 years. You can write 2, you can write 3, you can write 5, whatever you think. I'll give you some time to do that because I'm going to call you up. And this is how I'm going to call you up. I'm going to call you up based on the people that are registered on this call right now that I'm seeing. Just to warm up the floor, I'll call Peter and Shalom first. I'm telling you now, I'm not calling you at now, I'm just telling you. So I'll call you because you are with me. So I'll use you to warm up so the others can get ready. Right? And so I will also call up Christabel after that to tell me. Christabel will answer number 1. That is what she will do tomorrow. Christabel will tell me 5 things she will do tomorrow. Ezedike will tell me number 2. That is 5 things he will do before the year runs out. Michael will tell me number 3. I'm skipping Francis because Francis is with us in PFF and he's not an IMSU student. So Michael will tell me 5 things he will do with his degree after he graduates. And Nicholas will tell me what he thinks he will look like after 5 years. So this is how it's going to be. So you don't need to be very elaborate, just list things out for me. But the important thing is, now that you are answering the question, you are thinking about it. You are envisioning, oh, this is what I'm looking towards becoming. It's an assignment in envisioning. And envisioning is really, really difficult. That is not wishful thinking. Planning, thinking from where you currently are and telling me what you do tomorrow. So, Peter, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
So tell me 5 things you will do tomorrow.
All right. Okay, what I have here is I plan to have a post published on Medium.
Okay.
And I plan to give counsel to my clients. Like I'm a pharmacist. and I'm an intern, so I have clients on my hand, and I give them counsels for their health care tomorrow. Then I want
Okay.
to brush up on my guitar skills. That makes it third on the list. Then I think I need myself a good breakfast for tomorrow. I've not really had a good meal today. So then I think I would like to also listen to a podcast on financial breakthrough tomorrow too. That makes it the five.
Oh, that looks like you are having a very busy day tomorrow. And you see now, you see how you are busy. So if someone says, are you busy? You are busy, even though you are not making millions tomorrow, right? Michael, you want to ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Good. I was hearing my name. Sorry, I was not responsive then. So I thought they were asking me something.
Oh, yes, I said I will ask you to answer number 3. So that will be, you will tell me 5 things you will do with your degree after you graduate. So prepare for that.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Shalom, will you tell me what you will do before the year runs out?
I wish I could say the first one because I've not written that one yet.
Okay. Tell me, what do you want to do tomorrow then?
Okay, I will attend the seminar, this PFF seminar.
Okay.
I will undertake JAM tutorials,
Okay.
preparing students for JAM online and on-site.
Okay.
Make preparations. I've been preparing for some writing competitions, so I'll continue with that. I am also a cybersecurity student, so I'll attend my class.
Okay.
Then finally, I have someone to speak with tomorrow, Mr. Chizzy.
Right.
So I'll speak with him tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So that shows that you have your day planned. So good. So I will now move to Christabel. Christabel, do you want to tell me 5 things you'll do tomorrow? Yeah, I'm not sure Christabel is close to the phone. I'll quickly move to Ezedike. Ezedike, if you're here, would you tell me 5 things you will do before the year runs out?
Okay, good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
When I had 5 things I would do before the year is over, but I can remember the beginning of this year. I just drafted out things, but it was not up to 5. It was actually 3. But
Okay.
I'll just say the one I have. Uh, one of my this thing was to have a standard blog website. Yes, to have a standard blog website. Then the second one was to celebrate each of my family members, at least on their birthday. I will celebrate them, like buy a birthday gift for them. I'll make sure that I celebrate them. Then the third one is to at least win 20 souls before the year runs out. That's my three cardinal um, cardinal plans for this year.
Good. Good. Thank you so much for that. It's important to have perspective. And so, Michael, are you ready?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, tell me, what are the 5 things you will do with your degree after you graduate?
5 things. I don't know for 5 for okay, I can actually say two things I'm really sure of.
Mm-hmm.
I can go with.
Yeah, tell me.
Should I continue? Ever since, okay, I'm doing physics in school. My course is physics
Okay.
in the university, and physics has been one of my best subjects in secondary school. So I chose physics. because I want to join in the medical line. So I want to study medical physics if I get higher. And I've always wanted to be a programmer too. So maybe with my degree, I can move into programming. Like I've always wanted to be, or a technical writer. I've always loved writing. Anything computer has been one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, I think I can actually go with the two, programming and technical writing.
Well. Are you saying you don't know? Are there up to 5 things that a regular physicist can do?
A physicist can do.
Yeah. Are there up to 5?
Yeah, there's a lot of things a physicist can do. Can be a programmer, a teacher, a meteorologist, a chemical engineer, computer science, laboratories, engineering, a lot of things. We are more than 5.
Right.
A lot of
But for
things. But I actually chose those 3.
the
I chose 3 because these are things I'm focused on now. Medical physics, programming, and technical writing. That's 3 things I
good,
chose for myself.
good. And why it's important to have that picture is that the decisions you make going forward should lead you to those places. It should lead you to those doors. Then you must know Professor Chineke too. He's a professor of
Yes,
atmospheric physics.
I know
Yeah,
him.
so
He's our
make sure.
dean. He's the dean of I'm his secretary particularly.
Oh, great.
I'm his class secretary.
Wonderful. So ensure that you are here tomorrow to listen to him speak.
Yes,
Thank you, Michael. Nicholas, would you like to tell us what you will look like after 5 years?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. After 5 years, sir, what I would look like after 5 years is I'm I'm envisioning by then I would be married with my children after 5 years.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm planning on going into business. So I will have multiple streams of business, probably in different countries of the world. Then the third one I have here is my course is history and international studies. And then I have always wanted and I've loved to become an ambassador. So after 5 years, I'll be working towards becoming an ambassador by God's grace for Nigeria in specifically Israel as a country. Then the fourth one I don't really have up to 5, sir. But the fourth one here is I want to be a proficient and relevant leader that will impact life, that will impact life. Yes, be an influencer to the younger generations after me. This is what I have for now. So
Okay. That's quite, I'm seeing you are thinking of your relationship, you are thinking of career, then you are thinking of what to do with yourself after that. And 5 years is not a long time. You may know
yes,
that
sir.
because if you are in the university, you will spend 4 years before you get a degree at least. And so, but if I ask you,
Yes, sir.
when you entered school, how do you feel? You say it's just like yesterday, right? It's never really that long. And so, pursuing your dreams as if you want them to happen tomorrow is a secret I will give you. So, imagine that you want to be an ambassador tomorrow. What will you do today is what I need you to do. And so that plan may need you to be a diplomat, work with the Ministry of International Affairs or ECOWAS and things
Yes,
like
sir.
that, diplomatic relationships and all that. Those organizations sometimes are very hard to get into, but you would have to do what it takes. And if that is the case, then you must work hard to get very good grades, because those kind of spaces, the competition is stiff, right? And so you
Yes,
ask
sir.
yourself, how many people
Yes,
have
sir.
made first class in my department? And how do I work myself to that point? So you have your work cut out for you, but then from that 5 years plan, you work backwards. How many things do I need to do this year? How many things do I need to do today to get to that dream? You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? So I think Christabel is
Okay,
back.
sir.
Thank you. Christabel, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. So tell me, what would you do tomorrow?
Uh, I'll be finishing up my assignments in school, preparing for the next lectures on Friday. Nothing much, just those two for now.
Okay, good. I usually want you to keep it up to 5 that you will do, because of there's a lot to do. There's skills to learn, and I'm going to get into that. So my point with forcing you to think of your days and think of your weeks and think of your years is these things add up. You may not know, but look at where you are now. You know, I, I couldn't, if you told me now that I left university 14 years ago, that looks like I'm not even that old yet, you know, but it looks so far back, and it's just like yesterday, you know. And many of these things that we see in life, if we don't hit the ground running, immediately we are awake. If we don't wake and hit the ground running, you are going to find that you're already late, and anything you get to, you wish you had that yesterday. And so planning is fundamental. Envisioning your life is fundamental. That is the best way to be a leader. Taking charge of your life and making good use of that life. And so I want to talk about lack of boundaries. And lack of boundaries is not knowing how many things you can do. Being around people that don't add anything to you. And I want to tell you a story before I give you an assignment to do too. When I was in school, I had a group of friends. We used to hang together, but I realized that whenever I say I want to go and read with these guys, I'll enter audit and I will sleep off. And they won't wake me. They'll be playing. Some of them will be eating and all that. And I'll waste all my time in the night and come back in the morning, and still I'll be feeling very sleepy. And so what I did was, one day I just decided I was going to change my friends. It's not like I had any problems with them. They are not bad people. They are still all my friends today. But I just stopped hanging with them, going to read with them. I instead went to my friend, David Ejesu. He's a pastor now in River State. And what we normally would do is, when we come, we'll first go to sleep. I'll go to his room. He lives in the back gate, Merit Hostel. I don't know if he's still there. We'll go to sleep. We'll wake up by 1 or 2, and then we'll bring out textbooks and past questions. And the way we did it, because I studied law, so we read a question, then we'll go to the chapter in the textbook where that question is taken from. And we read it loud to each other, everything in that textbook about that question. So the strategy he had was every 2 weeks before the exam, I will pack and go to his house. We do nothing else. We don't cook. We only eat bread and akara. There's a woman that fries it just outside there. We don't do anything else. We just sit inside. We go out. We come back. In fact, every time there is an exam, I go and pack it to his house, right? And so I noticed that my grades very much improved. But then my friends felt really bad because they thought I was feeling too good for them, but I wasn't really. Like for me, it was a decision to become better, so to speak. And they are still my friends, and there is really nothing, no hard feelings. But I just had to create boundaries. And boundaries are important because I find, especially for females, they don't know how to say no to things because they want to make people feel good. And creating boundaries is important for you to keep your space, keep your head in the right loop, and for you to make decisions that will help you. If there are people that don't want it, that let's say you have friends that are boys and they come and all they talk about are women drinking, smoking, this and that. You don't want that kind of energy. It is important for you to begin to practically look for a way out. Creating boundaries may mean packing out of where you currently live, saying literally no to relationships or situationships, and breaking some hearts too, because some people may feel like, oh, this guy is being OPT or he's trying to say that he's better than us, but that's really not it. You are trying to make a decision that will make your life better. And so you must know how to say no. Know the things you can attend. Know the things you can attend. Know that you can't be there for everybody. You can't be there for everything. You can't do all things. And fundamentally, your progress in life is the most important thing you can do for yourself and for everybody around you. Because if you're a failure in life, you affect yourself, you affect people that love you, you become a problem to the society. And so, making good decisions for yourself is way more important than everything else. Know this, and I'm very, 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 very going to reiterate this. Know how to say no. Know how to say, I don't want this. Know how to remove yourself from things. Because if I come to you now and say, come, let's hang out tomorrow. So I'm going to come. I don't know how your day is. For me, what is important for me is that I want to hang out with you. But you coming to hang out with me may mean that you will not have time for our class tomorrow. You will not be here at 8 o'clock. It's important to say no to such a relationship, or say, oh, can we hang out by weekend instead? Can I hang out with you next week instead? Oh, I'm busy this month. Can I come meet you next month, February, or next month, second week of next month, or something like that? But you, by yourself, must take charge of your life because your life is yours. A lot of these examples I'll give you. When I was in IMSU, I had a friend who came in one day, and I don't know who gave him weed, right? He wanted to use it to apply on his hair. But then he decided to cook with some of it as well. And he said, do you want us to eat this? I said, no, I don't want. And usually people, when you don't want to practice what they want you to do, they start thinking that, oh, you are trying to say you are better than them. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm not going to do this. I don't even want to test it. I don't want to know what it looks like. I don't care. And you find examples like that in many parts of your life where people can give you an alcoholic drink and say, do you want this? You say no. They start asking why. You don't you want this? You know, you must know how to remove yourself from such kind of things. Me, I don't attend parties. So if you are going to be doing something in the night, it's not for me. It's never going to happen. I don't stay in a place they are playing loud music and people are dancing, being on rowdy. I don't do that. It's not me. I know exactly what I want for myself. I don't participate in things like that. I've had my students, not young students now, very mature students, they invite me to come to a place to eat fish and drink. And I say, I don't do that. I don't even hang out in places like bars and things like that. There is nothing that will bring me there. I see people there and that's okay for them, but it's not for me. And you will not find me there. And that is my own personal boundary. And I create more boundaries. People can want to call me and I don't pick the phone because I'm not ready to deal with the energy they are trying to bring. And so being there for everybody, doing what everybody wants you to do is going to draw your energy down and is really, really not going to put you on the right path. So if you are not somebody that knows how to create boundaries, you will not know how to get to what you want to get to in life. If someone wants to be a diplomat, he automatically knows he has to read more. And so taking up a position in school that makes you always attending meeting in the night is not going to work because of what you have in mind for yourself, right? If you are somebody that you are going to do everything, many of your dreams are going to die. That is the truth. And so because of as ndị Igbo si na a na-ekwe maka ubi rọba, you know, you will, because of one thing, cut another thing down, you know. So you see what is in the farm, you decide to sell the small one that you have today. And so I want to ask you, what are you doing now that is useless? You will write it down, and I will ask you to tell me. Everybody here, even me, knows some things that we are doing that is not useful to me. And so if you're a PFF person here, I will use you to warm up. So get ready. You tell me what you are doing now that is useless. Then you will tell me what you will do more of. That is things you know that is good for you, but you are not doing enough of it. You will tell me. Then you will tell me what is distracting you from your goal. And you see, it just got serious. We are not playing anymore. So you will tell me, and I want to call Princess Akaniene. So get ready. I'm not calling you now. I want you to prepare because I'm going to call you. I'm going to call Victory Archilefu as well. And then I'm going to call Vitalis Declan. You are going to answer, Vitalis will answer number 3. What are the things distracting me from my goal? Victory will answer, what should I do more of? And Princess will tell me what she's doing now that is not useful to her. And in order to warm us up, I will talk with Francis. Francis, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah, Francis, tell me things that you are doing now that you know are useless, in the sense that they are not useful. They won't reward you in the end, but you are still doing them. Tell me.
Okay. Should I say I'm trying to look at some of the things that I'm doing now that are useless? I think there are some times that maybe like I will just spend like maybe like some, not like hours, but like when I go to like Instagram sometimes, I think it's like a waste of time for me because I think it doesn't really add to me. So it's like a waste of time. And at the moment, although I use LinkedIn a lot and I just maybe like waste some few minutes on like Instagram. So I think that is a waste of time. It's actually something that is like useless. So like to me for now, because I'm not a social media influencer, I don't think of myself to be one because that is not my space. Although I can use it for some other things, but I don't really need it like that. So like going online to just watch videos that may not add to what I'm doing, I think it's like a waste of time. And the other things I can say is that sometimes maybe being with people that that make the environment and inconvenient for me because like okay, and as a student I stay in staff quarters and I also stay off K. So sometimes when I'm off K, I think the place is more conducive, but because of the guys that normally come around, like they'll be talking till like 12 p.m. No, 12 a.m. and that doesn't work for me. So sometimes I feel like being in that mist, it actually affects me, and even my system that is going to sleep and to wake up and then to go on with my activity. So those things are some of the things that I think they are not really like incapable of like and of impacting me positively.
Thank you so very much. And I relate to that a lot. Princess, do you want to tell me what is not useful to you at the moment?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening,
Can
Princess.
you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, right now I think what I'm actually doing that it's not useful is spending much time on social media. And I guess that's a general problem. Yeah. So I think that's just the only thing I'm doing right now that it's not really adding up.
Oh, okay. Everybody is identifying social media as a very big problem. Okay.
Yeah, because we spend most time there. Not that we are actually doing anything, not that we are content creators, just going through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and all of that shit.
Okay.
So I think that's just it.
Thank you. Thank you. Victory, do you want to tell me what you think you should do more of?
Yes, sir.
What I think I should do more of right now is to read my books because I'm finding it difficult to read consistently due to extra curricular activities.
Right. So it's important for you to cut those down. You must,
Yes,
as a
sir.
matter of urgency, cut those down. Like, just realize that your 4 years in university will not last long. I spent 5 years there, and I did another 1 year for law school, but that has been 14 years ago. So that's more
Mine too
time.
is 5 years, sir. I'm a law student.
Oh, good, good, good. What level are you in now, or what part? Sorry, what year?
500 level.
Oh, so you have to really read because you have to do
Yes.
your, yeah, maybe we can talk later. But what I'm trying to let you know is this. You have to really, really, when I was in final year, I left a lot of things. I only did one thing, and that is I did the final year coordinator for my fellowship, and that's it. That's the only thing I did. I cut everything else. Everything else, even fellowship, I only attended one Wednesday. That's it. Because it is really stressful, and that's your last lap, okay? So, and at that time, everybody wants you to come and join this, come and do this, so that they can do graduation for you, you know? But no, only did one thing. And so it's important for us to keep boundaries. So a very top question for Vitalis. Vitalis, who are the people distracting you from your goal? Oh,
Okay, good evening, everybody.
good evening, Vitalis.
Good. Okay, so basically, I don't really have persons around me that are actually distracting me from my goal. It's kind of weird, but persons that are around me are persons that also get to encourage me. Persons that are around me are persons that um basically they are my fellowship friends. So I don't
Right.
really have persons that distract me from my goal. AZDK is also part of those that also help me. Yeah. So I don't basically have persons that distract me, and I would also like to keep them. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have things that distract you then?
Okay, things that distract me. I think my phone, social media, and some activities. Yes, some activities that might just come.
Right.
Some activities and too much sleep too.
Okay. So maybe you should work on too much sleeping. I don't know why some of people want to sleep longer, but let's say my problems are so much I can't even sleep so long anymore. But I know when I was younger, I used to sleep a lot, but now, don't worry. When problems mount up, you stay awake by force. All right. So poverty is something that I want to talk about, and I really wish that we can have way more people to listen to this. And I'm going to be rounding up now. I'm almost done. How do you deal with poverty if you do not have money? And that is a very big challenge, especially if you are somebody that is from a very poor family or something like that. Yeah, Michael, what do you want to ask me? Michael, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
You asked a question here. Vitalis, you asked Vitalis a question,
Yes.
and how and does he have anybody distracting him from anything? But
Yeah.
for me, I think that as a teenager or a growing adult, you're not supposed to like have such explanation in people distracting you. Like if anybody has to distract you, it has to be you yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the only distraction you get is from yourself. You have to know how to control the people around you. Because of any distraction that you get is actually coming from you. Because of you're the only one accepting distraction in your life or around you. So anybody asking of or saying that he has friends who distracts them or his neighbors, for me, I feel it's not normal. Yeah, the person himself or herself is supposed to control the environment by actually knowing when and how it's being distracted by, or something like that. So for Vitalis, I'm just saying it's like you're supposed to know, because distraction only comes when you accept it.
Right.
That's the only way you can be distracted. But that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. So there's a point to what you are saying, which is that a person who distracts himself, and I was going to make that point, but I didn't dwell on that. And yes, there is something to be said about being able to put yourself, like taking the responsibility that you are the person that is actually distracting yourself. And that is the trick in the question. When we say people, you should be able to look inside and identify yourself. Yeah. So poverty is really hard to deal with. But I would say that a person who is poor, your life will be harder than others. And I would say this because you will need to learn a skill while you are studying, especially if you are doing a course that will not immediately translate to employment. There are courses that will translate to employment immediately, like medicine or law to an extent, not all the time, but law largely. There are other skills that you have and you'll not really look for job. But if you are doing skills, jobs that just give you a certificate and you have to be going up and down, like or with French now, for example, or microbiology, or any of these courses that immediately does not put you on a path of getting a job or does not have something tiny to a skill, you have to learn other things to do. That is the truth. Because the only way, either you decide to network and enter into places where you actually will be employed, or you have to learn another skill. A very important skill now that is helping people, especially from developing countries, are skills that are soft, digital skills, learning how to manage social media for companies, graphic design skills, coding, programming. Those are, because the harder the skill, the higher you will be paid. Just know this, the harder the skill, the higher you'll be paid. And there are other skills too that many of us are overlooking. And those are skills like plumbing or electrical work. I had one of my young friends, my young mentees, a few years ago, he graduated from English, right? And he didn't have anything to do. And I said, he told me that he got a job where they were paying him 40,000 naira. And he also got a placement in a place where they will teach him how to wire a house, electrical wiring. But it will take him 6 months to learn. And after that 6 months, they will start giving him job, but he'll be going with the person who owns that work. I told him to go and learn the electrical skill. Of course, he did not listen to what I'm saying, because obviously we are all young people, we learn by ourselves. And he went to take the 40,000 naira job. And in less than 2 years, the place had packed up. They sacked him and the firm just ended. And what is the point I'm trying to make from there? The point is that if he had learned the skill in wiring, nobody can take it away from him. Nobody on this earth. He already knows how to wire a house. Wherever he goes, if you drop him in India, he can wire a house. He just needs to learn how they wire a house in India. But the skill is already there. If he goes to UK, Canada, he can wire a house there. If you learn a skill on carpentry, for example, knowing how to put tools together, do beams for a house and things like that, nobody can take that skill away from you. Anywhere you go in this earth, there is somebody that needs to build a house. You will be there to help. Construction work. Some of these skills are inborn. Some of them we need to really learn it over and over time. Soft skills are really in vogue today. Everybody wants to be a social media manager, be a programmer. If you can, get in line. Get in line. But if you don't have the ability to do that, learn how to fix a car. Learn how to fix a bike. Because it is those skills that will give you the money to keep pursuing the formal skills you are also pursuing. And let's say you now want to, for example, make it through education. You must know that a skill you will learn is how to read, how to pass well, how to make very good grades so that you can use that grade to become better in life. I would say you should teach in a local school while you are studying. I use this strategy as well. I wrote a book also. I did book launching. I went to many schools. When I speak to them, I also sold my book. I went to Yvette School in Zik Avenue and all that. So there are many things that you can do to help yourself while you are in school. And then I said, if the course you are studying will make you poor, then it's time to immediately learn other skills while you're at it. If there is no employment, say, for example, if you studied English now, what are you going to do with that degree? You will teach English in a university or in a secondary school. What exactly will you do with an English major? You see, that means that you can say I'm a graduate, but where would you be fitting into in life? And that is why if you are in that course, don't waste your time. Start learning something else immediately. You are in Owerri, and it's a very big place. You can learn a lot of skills in Douglas, in many of these places. Start learning skills that are going to take you through life, because the degree you are going to have is just going to be a degree that you cannot use except you are employed as a teacher or something like that. Or you use it to go abroad and get another degree. Or even if you go abroad, what are you going to do with English, say, in the UK? You know, it just means that you have to learn a skill that will complement that. And so you can write books, there are other skills that you can use within a person who studied English, for example. You can write books, you can sell books, but it's really not very easy. You can be an editor within a newspaper house and things like that. But as we all know, those competition for those jobs are really difficult. And that is why if you are going to do a course that is not very going to put you on a path to employment, I think you should think about it and start learning something else right away. It's never too late to learn something else. If you start yesterday, you've done well. If you start today, you've done well. If you start tomorrow, you've done well. And I'm saying this not only for people like that, I'm saying this for even for people who are going to study law and things like that. Learn other skills. Be somebody that can do many things, you know? Be somebody that can do many things. Young people now, you have the phone. In that phone, if you read one news feed on Facebook, you have more information than many people that lived life up to 1960. Many of them don't have that amount of information. You have so much at the flick of your hands. You have so much information. You have ChatGPT, you have many things. This is not the age that somebody is coming now and they say, oh, help us do this design. And you say, I can't do it though. Nobody says that anymore. Go and learn how to use Canva Pro. Everybody, you have to know how to do many things. This is no longer like we didn't have social media when we were in school, but you guys have it and you have fast speed internet. You think any internet you have now is faster than what we had 14 years ago. And so there is no excuse for you to say, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. No. If it's one thing you take out from this class today, let it be that you must learn how to do something else on top of what you already know. And I'll talk about the skills that will overcome poverty. One of it is integrity. Integrity means being trustworthy. If you are somebody who say you are who you are, even if you are somebody, let's say you are not a Christian, you can still have integrity. If you are not even going to church at all, you can still have integrity. Not to talk of when you do. You must be somebody that says the truth all the time, and you must be predictable. Predictable means that I know that if I give this guy money, he will return it to me. That is like you see many people say, oh, people outside Nigeria cannot do business in Nigeria because people lie all the time. If I know you for sure that you are somebody that says the truth, trust me, you will have a lot of opportunities come to you. If I know you, if many people know that this person, any money you give him, he will use it, give account to you and return what is remaining. People like it. Even among armed robbers, do you think that armed robbers, when they steal, they give it to somebody that will steal the money from them anyway? No. Armed robbers will trust you because they know that if they give you the money, you share it equally among them and you will say the truth. People who are even bad will believe in you if you are somebody that is integrity, if you have integrity. Integrity, being able to say the truth, being predictable. Not if they give you money, you use it for drink, or tomorrow you'll be telling story. Being predictable, being able to say the truth, and having integrity is more than having 100 million in the bank. And you as a young person must know this, especially if you don't want to build your life that Nigeria will be the limit. If you know that you want to have international ambitions, you want to be able to work with people who are not just Nigeria, you don't want your money to be dictated by what is the economic situation of Nigeria, then you must be somebody that deals with integrity. Let your integrity shine forth. Let people know that this person says the truth, will return what is not his own, and can be trusted to do the right thing. Lack of social amenities, there's really nothing we can do about it because we are not government. And I don't know if there's anybody in this call that is governor. I'm not a politician. I don't deal with politicians. But I will tell you that the only way that you can do something about this is to make sure that your skills are something that anybody who sees you will trust you. And so it doesn't matter whether government likes you or not. Your skills in this day and age that we have internet and social media, anybody can be joining this call from anywhere. And when they hear what you do, they want your service. But your service must be good, and you must pay the price to make sure that people associate your brand with integrity. And that's one of the things I say. I believe in what I call the SOP effect, which is that everything SOP does will be the best ever. Anything I do, I will do it very, very well, so that if Oyibo see him, Oyibo go know say it's very good. If a Indian see him, he will know that it's very good. If Nigerian see him, you know that it's very good. Anywhere I've ever been, I deliver world-class services to that person. I don't set out to deceive people. I don't set out to cheat people. And that is my own claim to ensuring that my life becomes something that the Nigerian government cannot frustrate. And I think I will leave it like that. What does resilience mean? Resilience, from all we've talked about, if it's not clear to you, I'm trying to bring it out here. Resilience is the capacity to endure and adapt in the face of adversity, trauma, or significant stress. That's from the Economic Times. Times are hard and it's not easy. You must be resilient as you know that no one is coming to get you. Thank you so very much. And I will see you next time. So when you finish this course, know that I am a resilient leader who overcomes challenges. Always tell yourself that. So I want to ask you something, and that is tomorrow for this call, make sure you invite one person. Tell them about just one person added to yourself that will be in this call with you. Make sure, let them know that we'll buy data for them so they don't have to worry. But tell one person, influence one person to be in this call with you tomorrow, just one person. And yeah, this is where I end. I want to know if you have any questions. If you don't, I'm going to hand it over to Peter to conclude.
All right. So thank you so much, sir. That was a deep and insightful session. Really appreciate your time and the efforts you've put into this presentation. Thank you very much, sir. So any questions? If you have a question, please can you put on your mic, or you just type in the chat box so we can have Uncle Sop answer your questions. Any questions? Vitalis, Victory, Divine, Michael, Johnson. Who else is on board? I think some people had flat batteries, they had to leave, but that's quite all right. So, is there any question?
I don't have any question for now.
Okay, Victory, you don't have any question. Okay, who has a question? All right, so if your question is not formative yet, but you feel that, do we have someone? Michael, do you have a question? All right, all right. So if you feel you still want to form your question, you can